freaking morning, Tartaria,
Mm.
Australia 2026 Cam.
We made it. We made it.
What a freaking blur was Christmas. Did it just like,
I know.
and we're back?
Christmas, New Year's. I know. I'm still on the other side of the country, but flying back in tomorrow. And yeah, we're back into it for 2026. Hopefully, everyone got a little bit of time off to
Gosh,
hang
it
with
didn't
their
feel like that.
family.
It definitely didn't feel like that to me. It was just like we left the 12-hour Zoom and then you and I were on a plane the next day and then poof, other sides of the country and then families and divorced parents and brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles and then drinking and no more carnivore diet and then boom, back in Maleny and it's 2026.
I know, right? Happens all the time. Whoa, and we're in a 1 year, right? We're back at the beginning.
Well, we're pretty organized this year. I mean, Campbell and I feel got our shit together this year and we're sorted. I think we've got a whole schedule for 12 months. In fact, I bought Cam and I a 12-month calendar, a wall calendar, and it's really freaking scary just looking at a whole year like laid out in like a meter.
It's pretty full already, I know, right? We like, yeah, six live shows, six newspapers, the TA Enterprise Group, a couple of other bits and pieces in there. So yeah, we're going to be going, right? Beginning of big things.
Yeah, and also Cam, I haven't told you this, but we've got a fantastic little crew in New Zealand that is
Oh,
starting to find us some venues, and so
oh,
I am going to add New Zealand to the year. So we are coming to New Zealand.
all
Just,
right.
I
New
have no
Zealand.
idea. We're
New
actually
Zealand,
coming,
bro.
yeah, we're coming to Auckland, and we're going to organize that. Don't know exact dates yet, but I think we'll do it off the back of one of the other shows when we're already at the airport. And yeah, we'll go over for a week and I think we'll do two shows. One is definitely in Auckland, the other to be undecided. So if anyone has any thoughts on where the other one was, I have no idea how
Yeah,
much of a TA audience we have in New Zealand, but fucking let's go and find
let's
out.
check it out. Yeah, I think Auckland's North Island. I think Wellington, isn't it, is the big city on the South
Yeah.
Island. So I don't know
So
if maybe we'll
maybe
do a North and a South.
yeah. And of course, our motivation is not to, facilitate more information because you get all that here on the podcast every week. Our intention is to meet everyone. Our intention is to connect this soul tribe together. So, yeah, it doesn't matter to me, honestly, if there's five people there or 500, but we're coming to New Zealand.
All right, there you go. Going over the water.
Yeah. So we've got a great year. Just a little bit of community update to start our 2026 show. If you're going to bitch about that, non-community members, just fast forward for the next 10 minutes. But to our dear beloved TA community, yeah, we're starting the show pretty big. So we've got like the year pretty big. We've got live events. The first one's happening in Rockhampton at the end of February. So it's really
28.
soon.
Yep.
hmm so if you are in that upper echelon of Queensland, this will be an excellent show to come to. So we're starting with Rockhampton, and then we are moving to what's the next one, Cam, on the list? We've got
God.
Adelaide on the list. We've got Blue Mountains. Now that one is going to be a special one. All right, everyone. Blue Mountains we've scheduled for the middle of winter because we're
Oh.
going to go into the Narnia snow and we're going to get the real hit of that contrast of winter and we need some help to sort it out. Felicia, you're around, you're the local. And we're going to like find some really beautiful accommodation that, it's really cozy and really wintry and, we can have hot chocolates and also double up that event with hiring a recording studio. So this is the event where any TA members from the world who are musicians, we are going to invite you all to come to the Blue Mountain event and just get into a studio for 2 days together and see if you can't create the most kick-ass TA theme song ever. Felice did an amazing job with her contribution last year. So, off the tail of Felice's amazing work, yeah, we would love to get some songs, some soundtracks that we can actually just utilize as part of our community. So that's an experiment.
Yeah,
Bandcamp,
man. The
Campbell.
TA album. It's
Mm,
coming.
fuck yeah. Why not? We've got so many great musicians in the audience. Why wouldn't we do that?
Mm. Oh, yeah, I agree. Yeah, everywhere we go, we've got awesome musicians. We had a lot at the Jolly Swag tour. We had live performances. They were all amazing. So yeah, let
Yeah.
us know if you want to be involved.
And on the 12-hour Zoom we did before Christmas, like we had so many we had like bands. We
Yeah,
had people with whole bands
I
in their
know
lounge
that
room
band was
zooming in.
awesome.
Like, how cool is that?
Yeah,
So
man.
fucking rock star. I loved every second of it. Everyone was playing, anyone who played with their acoustic, or everyone did such an amazing job. Ken did
Yep.
his singing in his did. Like, we fucking loved that stuff.
Yep,
Yep.
432 hertz and everything,
Yep.
and yeah, it was really cool, and that's what we're doing. We just want everyone to get involved. It's a community. It's not about us, right? It's about everyone connecting up, building a community, and moving forward. In
Yep.
this one year, right? In the beginning
Yeah,
year.
man. Yeah, man. So you're a little bit quiet to me, Cam. So
Oh, am I?
I'm a bit
Oh,
nervous that I'm going to come along as the
okay.
bellowing
Let
giant
me
like
let me
usual,
check
and I'm going to get a
my
thousand comments. People
audio
saying, "Oh my God,
settings.
she's so loud.
She's so
Why is
loud.
she so
All
loud?"
right, is that better? Am I
I don't
louder?
know. Don't know yet.
Oh,
You have
hang
to
on,
say
that's
something
speaker.
wise.
That's
Not
that's
really.
that's. Oh, why isn't that going
While
up?
you work that out. So the
Okay,
Blue Mountain event is in the middle of the year. So it's in June. It's the end of June,
okay,
everyone. Obviously,
better.
yeah, that's good, Cam.
Cool.
Obviously, it's going to be the middle of winter. I'm fucking cold. And it could be like fully snowing. So this isn't a trip you can just turn up to with your tent. This is something that, like, if you're going to join us, and we'll be there for a week. We're going to stay for a week at the Blue Mountains. We're going to go look at the Hydro Majestic. We're going to go and do the recording studio. We're going to like be there as a community for a week. And obviously, I'm going to go and give JCK a big hug. So just preparing her for
Hi,
that.
JC.
Um, so yeah, so like that's the Blue Mountains. So you've got like basically half a year to get yourself organized for that one, and it's going to be super fun, super
Yep.
fun.
Saturday,
So
27th
that's
of
going to be neat in
June.
the snow.
Yep.
Hmm.
We've
And
got.
then
Oh,
we've got
oh,
the Perth event. We're finally coming.
yeah.
What?
Sorry, we got a bit of a
What?
lag. I was just going to say all the dates are on tartariaaustralia.com. But yeah, we've got Adelaide, 2nd of May, Blue Mountains, 27th of June, Perth, 22nd of August.
Finally, we're going to Campbell's hometown, Old Perth.
Old Perth
Yeah,
town.
so I'm assuming you have a community there, Campbell. I don't know. Do
Uh,
we?
so am I. I hope so. And if we come all this way, we're tossing up. Should we do two shows, one in the southwest? Let us know. Like, is there enough people in the southwest for us to do that, or should we just do Perth? But we will be here. Well, I'll be back, right? I'm in Perth at the moment.
Yep. And I've never seen Perth, so that'll be super cool.
Wow,
Super cool. So
never
that's
been to
exciting.
Perth. Jeez.
And then after Perth, we're coming back to Melbourne. So listen, everyone, Melbourne crew, Victoria, we're not going back to the same venue. Obviously, the spidery element of the last experience, but we're going into nature. So we got to find a new venue for Melbourne. So if anyone's like knows of one, preferably, it has to be easily accessible for everyone. So it's got to be, you can't be out in the bush, but we don't want to be in the city centre so we're coming to Melbourne, be a very different show than last time. And I'm excited to come back in a more natural environment. Off the back of Melbourne is when I'm thinking we'll go to New Zealand, which would put New Zealand in November. And then the last show is in Tassie.
Has he? Geez, man, two overseas tour already, right? Two overseas tours. So yeah, Tasmania as well. I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't been to
Yeah.
Tasmania or New Zealand for, wow, I'll show my age if I say that, but like 45 plus years. Jeez. But
When you're
I
in
used to
nappies,
live in
Campbell.
Tasmania
The
and my
last time
dad's
I
a
was in New
Kiwi.
Zealand, I was in nappies.
Yeah, yeah, me too. I've been there once, and I only know that because there's photos to prove it. I was like 6 months old or something.
Yeah, same. So listen, everyone, like the next 12 months of these live events, they are going to be nothing like we've done before. We've reimagined the entire, it's way more immersive, way more immersive. Not the same format of sitting there for 8 hours while we sort of give you the overall of all the theories. It's not going to be that. It's something completely different, something completely immersive, something really, really unique. and I'm pretty confident you're all going to fucking love it. So yeah, this is a whole new version of the live event. So just putting it out there for people who think they've seen it all before. This one is completely different. Oh my God, I feel like we're moving into the realm of musical theatre, Campbell.
Oh, I know, right? And what's it going to be? Well, we're not going to tell you. You have to turn up and check it out. But it's
Yeah,
definitely more community based. You know, it's not, yeah, like Kelly said, we're not just going to sit up and basically do what we do here anyway, right? Because, you know, you can go through all the videos and check out all the theories and all that kind of stuff on the tubes of you. But it's definitely going to be, yeah, immersive, something different and more of an experience. Hmm.
yes, definitely more of an experience for sure. So all the tickets are available on the website. Obviously, we'll start pushing Rockhampton. That's the first one to happen. So if you're around and you're in, then I would say do it, do it, do it. And it's going to be a whole different experience. And like, why wouldn't you do it? Because we're about to enter a crazy motherfucking year. Campbell, I'm sure you've got more. You can give us a little quick worldwide update. But yeah, it's going to be, I think everyone can feel that the tension between 25 and 26 is pretty palatable. It's going to be a pretty strong year for contrast, I can imagine. And I suspect that, making a priority to attend these sorts of events where you're with your people and your tribe group and your soul group is going to be actually more and more important. That resonant energy is going to be regenerative for you and grounding. So, come what may, no matter what state or what's happening in the realm, Campbell and I will be in these locations. Come what may, if we have to friggin' drive or fly, we are going to arrive. And just so that we've got a lighthouse there for anyone in the area to turn up and just like breathe it all out, ground their energy, and get 100 hugs from other people. So I know I just think that at the end of the day, what we end up with through these crazy, unpredictable times is the community, and that's just yeah. So I highly
Mm.
recommend that you factor that into your year plan.
Mm.
Come.
Yeah, yeah, we can all see what's going on in the world where they're trying to drag us, right,
Mm,
into the screen, into the 2D simulated world. But I think it's time to choose your frequency, right? Like we've
yeah,
all talked about the split, and we've all know that people are strange, and it's basically time to decide which timeline, if you want to put it that way, that you're going to walk down.
yeah,
And the best way to do that is to surround yourself with
yeah,
people who
100%.
on the same frequency.
100 fucking percent. And I can't like, every live event, everyone walks away fulfilled and satisfied. It's energetically important. These resonances, like you got to prioritize them, is what we're saying.
Yeah, I mean, 5 years out of, the Jabberwocky confusion, and, we still
Jabberwock.
meet people all the time, don't we, that still haven't,
Yeah,
reintegrated, if you want to put it that way. They're still, sort of out there on their own, looking for their tribe, wondering where to go. So I think this is a year to really decide and to cement, the path that you're on and
yeah,
to get involved, really
yeah,
get involved with it, get around those people, build your friend networks and all this kind of
definitely.
stuff.
Definitely. Which is why we have innovated the newspaper, as you all know about. And you're probably like, oh God, they're about to talk about the newspaper again. But the reiteration of the main purpose of the newspaper is that physical connection, that physical submission, that physical expression, that physical advertisement. Like when shit goes down and we don't know what's going to go down, but if the internet collapses, we still have your addresses. We can send things in the mail. We can use the newspaper will end up being used as a tool to connect us through thick and thin, right? If there's some like massive event and something bad happens, we've got this connection, this one thing. But also, there's something so beautiful about holding in your hands this thing that is only full of people's submission. Like, I
Mm.
love that so much, Cam. I don't know. Everyone should have received it now. This
Oh,
isn't going to
it's
work. It never
disappeared. There,
works. There
there
we
it
go.
is.
Everyone should have got this by now. I've had, just FYI, I've had one return from England and two from the States, which I've resent because the addresses were wrong. So we'll just be correcting that, not from our end, by the way. Also, obviously, it's taken 20 days to get to India. I've just got some facts on the postal service. 20
20.
days to get to India. We're over 20 days in some states in America. So some states in America got their mail within less than 14 days, which is what I was anticipating. But others have still got them trapped in like Chicago post office or whatever, whatever. So if you haven't received your magazine yet, it's I've got all the tracking, so I can see where it. There are quite a lot in the UK. I'm sorry, in the States, still in transit. So yeah, I can't. We literally can't do anything about that. I mean,
It's
literally, it's out of our hands.
it's so annoying. Like they
So
definitely
annoying.
can get it there
They
quicker
definitely
because
can.
it got to England in like
Hmm.
2 business days when
Yep.
we express posted. But they just don't want to. They just want to, oh God, annoy us really. But like Kelly said, we're doing our best, and that's all. We can't hand deliver them to the United States, obviously.
If we could, we
So
would. If we could
we
send it on
would.
the TA airship straight to your door, we absolutely
Well,
would. And maybe we will think about that in the future because nothing's impossible. But it was
well,
a fantastic edition for everyone who received it. I hope you loved it. Of course, because we're in that funky year, that funky changeover, we were 2 weeks late in getting it off. And so the December edition, and now we're into the February edition, which I'm now in production of. So the deadline for any more submissions is this weekend. I'm so sorry, everyone, but if you had anything else that you wanted to submit, it has to be this weekend, Saturday, Sunday. Submit on the website, tartariaaustralia.com, and like do it. Just fucking listen to the show and go, oh my God, yes.
mm,
And, have some fun with it. There's so many cool memes and posts, and we've got an art. We have an arts page now where everyone can submit their artwork, which is cool. We're getting a lot of poetry in, quite a few handwritten notes, lots of little health tips. Like it's shaping up to be a very groovy, very unique um, expose of the consciousness of this community. So I fucking love it. If you haven't
mm,
subscribed, like, don't sit on the fence, man. It's $20 a month and you get 6 a year and it's so cool and you get to like put in your content. Like
mm.
it's excellent. It's an excellent thing to be
Yeah,
involved in.
and it's a good, newspaper. It's 72 pages, and I think the next one was 74.
It's
Um,
74 pages, Cam.
yeah, 74, the latest one. Yep. So get involved and whatever it is, if you want to make a crossword, right, or one of those ring word things, or
Yep, we got one of them.
a
Yep.
cartoon, anything like that.
Yes.
We're definitely looking, for. We definitely love to have it in there, and like Kelly said, artwork,
Yeah, man.
caricatures. If you want to draw a
Hmm.
picture of Kelly
Yep,
smoking a
bobbing my
joint, send it in.
head, smoking my joint. That's right. Yep. Yes. So, yep. Submissions for this next edition is this weekend, and it's going to the printers in 2 weeks from now. And I'm halfway through the production of it. So, super excited. And just so you know, everyone, this isn't just any edition we're sending out. This one is very special. It's very golden. It's very unique. This is not the third edition is a special edition.
It
So
is.
yeah, and
Yes.
there's like probably 3 more days of labor involved in the putting together of this one. Sorry, Cam, that we will be committing to. So it's like, yep, this is a very handmade um, production. So
Yeah.
that's the newspaper update.
All right.
All right. So, Cam, all right. So there you go. So, all right, let's go. First of all, you've been obviously watching what's going on in the world more than me. So, it's anything weird and wonderful you'd like to talk about? I've got one little video I'd like to show.
It's just all a bit weird and wonderful, but it's all just minutia, really. I think it's all distraction. Obviously, there's a whole Venezuela thing
Yeah.
going on with Trump here, and then all these different, stories they give us of why it happened,
Yeah.
which are all crap. There's obviously other reasons underneath. There's lots of, I saw the news before because I'm at my parents' house. They got the news on all the time. Apparently, Australia's exploding. I saw like a picture of Australia for the news and it was just all red.
What do
And
you
I'm like,
mean? Like out of
oh,
temperature, exploding in
yeah,
heat?
yeah. So there's Melbourne is due to hit 40 plus.
Yeah, it has.
There's
Yep.
fires going. Adelaide, I can't remember the town, was going to hit 47. But I
Mm.
mean, saying that, I was
Saying
in
that.
Melbourne in the 80s and it hit 47. So this is, but they're putting it all out there as, oh my God, the world's exploding. But this is stuff that has been happening the whole time. But I think
Hmm.
that's really all that's happening is they're just ramping up the propaganda, right? The fear, oh my God, look over here, because why? Because they're doing something else over there. So, again, just don't buy it, don't believe the hype.
So just quickly, like from your perspective for 2026, what are your little kind of intuitive predictions for this year?
Wow, I still definitely believe that we're going through a frequency change.
Yes.
I'm definitely hearing more and more conversation about the whole sort of NPC conversation. People can't communicate with other people, right? The masses. There's definitely some kind of shift split happening. And I made a little short actually a week or two ago on my other channel about, cymatics. When we see cymatics and they play the frequency and you get that cool shape and then they turn it up and it all goes haywire. And then bing, this new shape emerges. I think we're in the haywire between
Yeah.
the two solid frequencies. I think that's what's going on. And of course, they're playing on this, the Ellites are playing on this just to keep us in confusion because, they think that they'll be able to control us. Obviously, the weather is still a big thing. I mean, geez, what happened to blue skies, right? Like they've got cloud making machines out there
Mm.
pumping bloody fake clouds up there and I think they're trying to hide the sun from us, right? Because the sun is frequency. It literally we when we get out there and absorb the sun,
Yeah.
it's full of messages, it's full of information, it's full of frequencies and
Yeah.
of course this is why they make everyone working outside cover their whole body now and wears bloody sun lotion and all this stuff. So I think,
And then
and this,
maybe more than one son.
and there may be more than one sun that they're hiding. Who knows what's happening up there? Three Eye Atlas, it never landed. It never invaded us. They just kept putting it off and off, and now they just stopped talking about it. So, but that just goes to show you what they do. It's just they get us to focus on stuff that doesn't even exist, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Clearly, like 3 Atlas, right?
Yeah.
Asteroids from the void,
Hmm.
the infinite vacuum. So I think there's going to be a lot more of that. They're definitely still on the whole alien invasion
Hmm.
narrative. So I think that we're going to see more and more of that. But it only exists in the 2D world. Like we know this, right? The weather, unfortunately, that's existing in the 3D world, in nature. They're definitely trying to cover stuff up that's going on above us. But I would just say, just don't buy into the fear, right? Be aware, not scared, because this is all to keep people scared, in fear, and more controllable. But I think we all realize by now that they're all full of crap. It's just all BS.
So that's your hardy prediction for the year.
Yes, that's my prediction.
It's all
No,
full
but
of
so I
crap.
think the split is going to happen more and more, and we're going to see
That's
that
funny.
just the narratives. We're going to see people getting much more into the mainstream narrative and believing all this stuff, like what's going on, right, with the whole oil thing and in
Mm.
the Americas. And then a lot more people are going to see straight through it. So, we're going to see more and more of a division, I think,
To what
as we go
end?
forward.
What's to what end are people going to see through it? What's going to be the result of people seeing through it?
Well, I think the result is, especially with all this ID, internet ID stuff they're pushing, and now they're trying to push it into travel and passports and all this stuff. I think that a lot of us, who can see what's going on, are going to realize that there's not that much value left in that world, right? That the internet's eating itself, AI, bots, and that. So I think we're going to be moving out, making real connections, getting back out in nature, and starting to build the
Right.
new Earth, if you want to put it that way, the world that we want to inhabit. And the others are going to just go more and more into their screens and into the whole, 15-minute city, electric car, fake food kind of world. So it's definitely a time to decide which path you're going to walk.
If you look at socials, like the amount of content being produced by individuals. Like it's so much. It's hard to imagine that not every single person on the realm is somehow contributing to that content and somehow aware. Like the whole food situation is so diabolical that I can't imagine even the people who are not conscious of what's going on are ignoring that fact. Like there's so many basic human needs that have like, become so fucked up that even if you're not on this consciousness and you've taken all the jabs and all that shit, like the food thing is, I think, across the board. And then we've got some other things, like from my side of predictions, um, you've got a real engineered, so where the division came with COVID between the left and the right, so, you know, like rudatory explanation. But then, you've got this very clear objective now to transfer that to a religious conflict. So, and that religious conflict has come at the hands of the immigration situation, which is undeniably an aggressive move to create this problem reaction solution model. And
Mm,
so I think the world's going to find alignment, ironically, as they shuffle their perspective from, the political left and right landscape and the awake and non-awake landscape to the nationalistic landscape which underpins a religious war.
mm,
So we're back in the days of the Bolsheviks, essentially. That's
yeah.
sort of like the Bolsheviks before World War I was a religious war, obviously, and which they all are, but it was a really obvious religious war backed by forced immigration.
Yeah.
So we're
Yeah.
kind of loopy on that one. But in doing that, so the interesting thing in that of that agenda sort of amalgamating is that there'll be sort of a consensus forming between two diverse consciousnesses agreeing on specific things. Although I have to say, Cam, geez, did I accidentally mention the Jew word at Christmas? And whoa, like far out, man.
I
The people,
know.
they just can't, they cannot. They're so
I know.
programmed with that
Mm.
being like an act of war that I even bring up that concept. So, yeah, I mean, there's lots of stuff that is still off bounds.
Yeah, yeah. I was going to say that, like in our community, like last year, we were talking about how it's just becoming very blatant, right? That everyone's controlled by, the small hats and that information's it's so readily available. And we have the concept that of course everyone's seen this, but yeah, like I've been around my parents and their friends, and yeah, I've realized pretty quick not to mention that word because and it's because, Trump is aligned with them and like everyone aligned with Trump and he's going to save the world, that they believe that the small hats are here to save them. And we obviously had the whole Bondi thing in Australia
There'll be so many more
recently.
of those false flags. So
There's,
many more coming up in
yeah,
26. Yep.
there will be, yep, yep.
Hmm.
And of course, Australia at New Year's they had the menorah. Is it called the menorah? The big candle thing on the side of the Sydney Opera
Opera
House.
House. What the fuck? I saw that. Yes, I
Mm.
saw that.
So
And Cam, like New Year's Eve in Melbourne, holy mother of God, Melbourne has fallen so bad. Oh my God, guys, if you're still in Victoria, you need to get the fuck out. Like Melbourne has fallen so bad. All right, so many examples. But New Year's Eve, the news was like, there's a million people here, right, for the fireworks at Fed Square. And oh my God, all you could see were burqas and black Muslims. There
yeah,
were barely, I mean, spot the Australian, there were barely any. We went to a mall in Doncaster just to do Christmas stuff. And man, spot the Aussie, like it was just all Asian. We might as well have been in Hong Kong. Man, we were in on Boxing Day, we were in the Mornington Peninsula, which is like it's, away from the city, down the coastline of Melbourne. And my God, like we were on the like it's all beaches, right? And man, we Boxing Day, and the beaches were jammed packed with Muslims and like even the pagodas. Have you frozen or have I frozen? Even the pagodas, like in the parks, where you go and have your barbecues, they had all the mats down and they were in prayer. It was so fucking infuriating. I can't even believe. And then like my partner went to like because it's like the main beach, sure, right? But then there's like all the little local beaches that no one ever goes to because you don't know about it unless you're like. laying down with grandma, right? Just to have a nice sunny little moment. As soon as they arrived and lay down on the beach, this fucking bus of 60 Muslims rocked up to this tiny local coastline, got into the ocean and started to do a Muslim ritual of baptism, whatever their version was. Like there was the call to Allah, they were doing these rituals in the fucking beach. Like you can't escape it. Like it's every fucking out of five shops, everywhere we went, all the way through Fitzroy and Collingwood in the city, every from five shops, one is open. The others are all shut. There's fucking graffiti everywhere. Everything's in a state of decay. All of the Tartarian buildings, which I used to be like, oh my God, it was like they shone to me. They're all decaying. They're full of graffiti. Like it's like an agenda not to repair the situation. There's weeds everywhere. And then like I watched this thing from the UK and from
Yep.
the Paris and all over Europe, exactly the same story. Rubbish everywhere, graffiti everywhere, the old buildings, the old world's decaying, and they're just like facilitating it. Melbourne is fucked.
Mm. Yeah, it's happening everywhere. The UK just overtook Sweden as the grape, can I say, capital of the world.
Yeah. Yeah. The
And it's the
UK
UK is it's fucked, and they're all
is fucked.
the wherever they're coming from. I think there's a lot of Somalis over there and North Africans. They chew this red stuff and they spit it out. They just spit
Oh,
it out as they're walking, and there's this red stuff just everywhere over the walls and the
wow.
streets, and it's disgusting
Gross.
and like just rubbish
Rubbish.
everywhere. Like
Rubbish.
it's disgusting. And then of course in America, right, the whole daycare scandal that came out, and of course the powers that be, the mainstream are pushing way back against that. How dare you? They're just people trying to get a better life, and it's all
Yeah.
New York just got its first Islamic
Yes.
mayor.
I
It's
saw.
crazy, man.
Yeah, and I think like 70, there's 70 Muslim mayors across
Mm,
England now.
yeah,
And you know what happened in England this week, very pertinent to us, is that a man was arrested from his home for posting a Facebook. Have you seen this? For posting a Facebook post on
mm,
his channel. And basically what it said was that he was anti this immigration, that rapes have gone up. Like it's so outrageous that we have to think about our kids now and their safety. Rubbish everywhere. They're bludgeoning off the government. They hate the Western world. That's why they're creating such dirty, chaos and violence in their wake. And that's what the post was about. It was a nationalistic post, right? He got arrested and it went to court and it ended up in the Supreme Court in the UK. This is like a week ago, right? And he is being sent to jail for like a few years for inciting, for basically an act of violent terrorism,
hate speech.
inciting violence.
Hurty words. Well, there was also from England, there was a lady who was SA'd and she went onto social media and spoke about it.
What's
She got more
S8?
sexually assaulted.
Oh,
She got more time than the guy who assaulted her for doing a Facebook post. So it's a fully anti-Caucasian agenda, man.
yeah,
And this is obviously all tied into the digital ID and all this, and
yeah,
they're trying to stop movement. They're destroying cities and cultures, and so this is the world that they're building, right? Which is why we really need to come together, right, and create our own tribes and
yeah.
and
Got to dissolve.
yeah, we've got to build out our own world that we want to inhabit, right? Because the one that
Yeah,
we grow up in, man, it's very quickly being destroyed and on
yeah.
purpose.
And it's so
Hang on
interesting.
one sec. I think my mum
I'm
just
just,
walked.
oh, mum. Hi, Campbell's
So she
mum.
can stay here.
Kelly said
The
hello.
cleaning lady coming.
Kelly said hello.
Hi,
Hello, Campbell's
Kelly.
mom. Hi, come and say hi to everyone.
Oh,
We're recording.
how are you?
Oh,
Oh, there she
hello.
is. Oh,
Oh,
can you
so
see her?
nice
You
to
see
finally
me?
meet you. We're
No,
coming to stay with you this year. No,
no,
but
we
I can
can't
hear
see
you.
you. How do I? Hang on. I'll have
I
to
made
take off
my
my
mother come on
background.
last year when she was home with me.
Oh, there she is. There's
Oh,
my mum.
hello. Hi. So nice to meet
You
you.
too,
Oh,
Kelly.
Say hello. You're on YouTube. Say hello to everyone.
yeah. You're talking to the whole community.
I'll leave you be.
All right. See him.
See ya.
Oh, that was great. Lovely. Well, that was Campbell's mum,
That's my
everyone. Now
mum,
you've met both of
everyone.
our mums.
Yep.
I love that. So, you know what's really interesting, and I've thought about this a lot, and I know we've talked about it a little bit, but what's actually happening in the cityscapes, the great cities of the world, is they're basically importing the Muslim Jewish agenda, the Abrahamic agenda into these cities. So what's happening is you've got all these violence coming because Abrahamic religions are a violent foundation. They're violent to their core and they're all about genocide and everything is about trauma to the human being, basically. So they're importing all these violent individuals who have come over for that one specific purpose to create violence, to take over that landscape and make it basically Muslim or Jewish, whatever. I mean, they're all the same to me. It doesn't matter what word you want to add to it, but basically take it over, which is interesting because at this point, all the white people are being kind of like in a choice now of whether they're going to like get out of the situation. So what I think is happening is all the violence is entering the cityscapes and all of the non-violence is leaving the cityscapes. So all of the people who were in the cities and can't handle being around that or don't want their kids around that, they're being forced to move. And so they're moving inland. They're moving back into the countries, right? So all these little villages and all these little, townships around the realm that are inland, that are in nature, are getting repopulated by non-violent, heartfelt human beings to basically avoid this chaos. So it's so fascinating to me as the cities are now set up to decay to the
Mm.
max, and that's the agenda. The lost white tribe, that's all of us. The white beings, we don't even have a name, right? Let's just call us the Europeans, whatever. We're all now repopulating inland, and all the violence is getting kind of contained in the cities, right?
Mm.
So if you're not in the cities, none of this is really relevant to you, like you can watch it from the as an observer, but it's not going to have a direct defense. If I was living in any of these cities right now, I would be leaving, like no questions asked. It's an intolerable space and
Mm.
it would do your fucking head in. As a local, you will do your head in observing the violence and the raping and the chaos and the support from the government on this topic. So get out of there if you haven't already got out of there, because the European, Australian, Western cityscapes are set for decay. They're
Mm.
set for violent, destructive decay by design.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And this is how they're going to bring in the 15-minute cities, right? With all this stuff going on, they're going to say, well, for your protection, because it's always to help us, we're going to need to be able to identify everyone. And then obviously the city, the buildings are getting destroyed. Oh, this needs to be rebuilt, with AI included and all this stuff. But it's like the reverse of what happened 100, 150 years ago, right? When everyone left the countryside and went into the cities, for their better life, the reverse is happening. And,
Mm,
I would say it's the right move to make because cities are so expensive too. You can't even afford to live there.
yeah,
It is cheaper in the country still, it's still not cheap, but it's a better space. And a lot of
yeah,
people are leaving countries too. There's a
yeah.
big movement of people, moving to safer countries. And I mean, at this point, half of Africa and the Middle East has got to be emptied, right? Maybe we should go and take over one of their countries, but all their countries
Oh,
are crap.
China's
Yeah,
definitely
China's
empty.
empty. Yeah, yeah.
Mm,
So they're definitely, and this is part of the agenda that they do all the time with resets
mm,
is they move populations around, right? Like we know through the old maps and books that there used to be big white populations in Africa, right? The Americas were dark, like they always move the populations around, and that's what seems to be going on again right now.
yeah. Well, I mean, what a privilege even though it's chaotic and crazy, what a privilege for us to see what we would have only studied in history in our generation, like actually, repeat, like, from an observer perspective, not being affected by it. It's a very unique thing to be able to watch unfold again, like, so that's unique and interesting. But,
Mm.
like the last couple of, well, I was at Christmas, I have a brother and he's 27 years old and he's very intelligent and he's not of this ilk of consciousness, but he's got his own thing going on. And we had an 8 hour debate, right? And one of those debate points, which I think I really want to bring up here, is that we have this, like, as we watch all this unfold in socials, right? As everything unfolds and we're observing it and it's ticking off all our truther connections, it's very easy to lose perspective. It's very, because the way that the agenda is promoted and the way that AI is promoted is that it's all absolute, that it's absolute dominance, that
Oh,
it's like victims of whatever they decide to inflict on us, basically. So we get, and especially with AI, like you get this idea that it's like going to take over the world, that it's going to take over every job, that it's going to take over all intelligence from humanity, that it's going to be everywhere, that we're going to all be walking around, or people are going to be walking around with like not phones anymore, but chips in them or whatever, that it's like going to be ultimate, right? Absolute. And so as a truth seeker, you spend a lot of time watching this unfold on the socials, right? But here's the thing, right, that we forget
And
as we go through this, like, if you think about it,
between
artificial
neighbours here, I'm
intelligence,
going up the street. Can you keep her here with you?
it's mum.
sorry, Mum's popped her head back in again.
Yeah, who cares? We'll always stop for mum. Um, is like we get this idea that it's like permeates the whole realm, right? But let's keep it in perspective. Artificial intelligence is dependent on electricity, it's dependent on infrastructure, and it is essentially a system. It's a closed system, right? And
Mhm.
so, and you can see the concentrated focus of all the socials are always on that sort of landscape. But think about it, Cam. Like 90% of the realm is not a city.
Mm.
90% of the realm is fucking pristine nature. 90% of the realm is the natural world. It so outdominates this agenda. It so outdominates the AI that in literally side by side, you can be a part of that if you want to, but you have to go somewhere very specific to do that, right? Or you can re-enter the natural world, which has been existing alongside it as the dominant energy for always, for all time. Like
Mm.
there's no like, so when you look at AI and you look at this whole agenda and the elites and what they're up to and all the politics and all the hate for humans and all the destruction, all that shit, it's really concentrated within a system. And to be in that system, you need to be in that grid, right? But hello, we can step out of that tomorrow. We can just leave all of that tomorrow. Like you can live, basically, you've got 90% of the rest of the realm to choose where you want to live. Like to choose anything outside of this. This is not ultimate and does not define your physical reality very far.
Mm.
Honestly, to go through one city in Australia, it might take you an hour and a half to drive through a city and get through the other side. And then you're just in country again. Then you're in the country again. And this is true everywhere you go.
Yep. That's totally true everywhere. Like we've done a bit of traveling and it's the same all over the realm, right? You have the big cities, but if you stay out of them, it's not overpopulated. It's
No.
green. It's beautiful. There's, the opportunities out there. The best people are out
Yeah.
there. And this is where our future lies, right? It doesn't lie in these technocratic cities, right? But they're trying to give us this impression that
Impression.
that's all there is, and AI
Yep.
is going to take over everything, and
Yep.
you'll lose your job. But I mean, seriously, at this point, who wants a job? Because what is a job? It's something that's tied to the system. It's tied to the system, so you can get out there and pay your tax and pay your fines and let people tell you what to do. But there's so much more that needs to be done and can be done. It's all about providing value and service. That's all you need to do, and you'll be fine. And
Yep.
and have a good community around you, right? Let's
Yep.
start doing things together again, and we can create that. And I kind of think this might be what this split is we'll end up with all these people in the cities, controlled by AI and controlled by the maritime law and all of this, the fish gods. And then you'll have the people outside of the cities in
Yep.
nature doing real things, living in
Yep.
houses, buildings that are built from the earth, right? Not mass-produced plastic crap, building their own furniture, raising their own food, like that, and
And that's always
it's
been, that's
it's much
always,
better.
it never stopped. It never stopped. It never
Mm,
changed. It is still always that and has been that forever. You can go to any town in Australia outside the cities, any village, any town, and you'll find all those things.
mm,
You'll find all of those things. So it's not like any of that ever stopped, but we've been given this delusion, this impression that that no longer exists.
mm,
And all we have now is put all of our energy focusing on watching this unbelievably fucked up decay process towards humanity. Like it's just, but hey, I just wanted to keep it in perspective, like once you realize that. So when we talk about simulation theory, which we were actually going to get to on this show, when you talk about simulation theory, it's kind of like I'm going to change that word now from simulation to system. Because simulation, once again, classically an AI concept, classically is with no end. It has no boundary. It has no tangible container. It's like when you get to the edge of a computer game, like there's no filled in space. It's just like a void. You can get to the end of where it's been programmed in and it's a void. And we're given this concept with simulation theory that it's like absolute, that it's like we are immersed in it. Everything is simulation. It's so big and so immersive. We're never going to understand it, but we're in it,
mm.
and that's like one of the arguments of simulation theory. And man, like if you actually, so from that perspective, Cam, just to jump right into simulation theory, which I'm completely against these days, but if you jump into it, we're given this idea that the simulation that we live in is simulation, right? That everything's simulated, that the natural world is simulated. I mean, how much of a computer theory is that? That the natural world is simulated, that everything is simulated, and that we're just like flitting around as vessels of simulated reality. That's basic concept.
Mm.
Do you want to
Yeah,
add to that before I
everything's a
add something?
copy. Yeah, it's all just copies of copies
Copy.
of copies. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think the only copies we see are in the 2D world, right? In the screen, in the internet. That's the simulated reality. You don't you
The
never see,
system.
yeah, the system, the
Mm.
systemation, right? You
Hmm.
never see two trees that are the same.
No,
Right? Even two flowers, they could be the same kind of flower, but they're not the same. There is no simulation in nature. All
no,
there is difference, right? And potential and imagination. That's all that exists in nature. There's no simulation out there.
no. And they give us this like concept that, like this an advanced civilization simulated our universe. That's like one of their arguments. This advanced civilization we couldn't possibly imagine simulate our universe. But for that to be true, we would literally they would have to to create a simulation within a simulation, which is what the idea is,
Yep.
that simulation, the one we're in, would have to be perfect. It would have to be as good as the original simulation for it to work. For it to work with every fundamental interaction.
Hmm.
Every interaction that I have with you fundamentally would have to be simulated. It would have to have no glitches. It would have to have no like corrective, like what resolution. Every resolution would have to be perfect. Every hue, every color, every noise, every sound, every texture, every single thing in nature would have to be simulated. It would have to be perfect and it would have to be as good as the original simulation that we're sitting in. Do
Hmm.
you think there is even the technology to generate such perfection when we can't even
Well,
do a podcast without it glitching because we don't have internet connection? You
yeah,
know what I mean? Like if it
yeah.
was truly a simulation, we would be glitching all over the place. You would see evidence all over the fucking place.
Yeah, exactly, right? Oh, I was just going to go sun gazing. Oh, just waiting for the sun to buffer. Like
Exactly.
it's dumb. And look what's happening with AI and these AI data centers. They're now talking they need to build the size of Manhattan Island, right? And they need to build multiple ones of them. I mean, if this is a simulation, what's powering that simulation? Because the original world would literally need to just be one
Yeah.
massive data center, right?
Yes, it
And
would.
then what would you be simulating? Because there's no nature
Exactly.
left.
That's right. So you cannot store a perfect like description of a system inside a system with less information capacity than the original system itself.
Mm,
And there's
exactly.
nothing that validates that that is like the case.
It's true. And simulation theory, what were you calling it? Sorry, the
System.
systemation
System. It's a
theory.
better word.
System, it never came about until we had these systems, right? Until we had electronics and computers. That was the
Yeah.
the start of
Yeah.
simulation theory because people are like, oh well, look, I made Pong. Maybe, we live in Pong, This is the thing, And you hear people talking about, the games and how they self, that they don't hold all the data. They just, create it as you go into the game and all this kind of stuff, but that's all built off people playing games, right?
Yeah.
It's literally just looking
Yep.
at the world that's been put in front of us by the
Yes.
system and
Mm-hmm.
saying, oh, well, that's the answer to everything. That's clearly where we are. Well, talk about like getting into the system. Don't we all want to be out of that? But they're trying to tell us, and this is it's another religion, right?
Yeah.
There's something
Yeah.
bigger than you who's
Yep.
created your reality and it's controlling it, right?
Yes, which
And then
denotes the situation to be hopeless.
Yeah, well, and that's the other thing is what it ultimately gets down to is now everyone's walking around going, I just want to leave this place. I want to get out. This place sucks.
Yep.
But it doesn't.
No.
The Allites and the fish gods and the parasites suck
Yep.
and what they've created sucks, but get out in nature and
Yep.
it doesn't suck. Go camping for a weekend and tell me that that was worse than, your job. Clearly it's not. It's much better. And once we get away from this idea that we need money, we need things from the system, we need to rely on the system to
Yep.
live, then everything changes because you don't need anything. All you need is food, water, accommodation, and a good community, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that all comes from nature. Like, how do you
Mm-hmm.
think we got here? It all
Mm-hmm.
comes from nature. It's all supplied for free from
Yeah.
nature.
Well, do you know the history of the simulation theory? Let
Uh,
me
Tell me.
Yeah, let me tell you, because most people like connected simulation theory, but really it came into like a mainstream concept with sort of Elon Musk advocating for it, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
He was just like, yeah, well, it's highly unlikely that we're not in a simulation. That became like the
Well, I think he
catchphrase.
said something like that, the chances of us not being in a
Yeah,
simulation are like a million, billion, trillion to one.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I tell you, so this is the history of simulation theory. It was actually innovated by a guy called Nick Bostrom, who was like a philosopher, I guess. So and it's a really dumb argument. Here it is, right? Our entire universe, including our consciousness, is a computer simulation run by some beings who exist in a higher version of reality. That's like that is the argument is that there are many civilizations. This is what it like requires for this to work. There are many civilizations. Well, all right, we can't validate that. Number two, they can build computers that can simulate conscious beings. So that is a big leap in logic right there that they can that they can build computers that can simulate conscious beings. And three, there are many more simulated conscious beings than real ones, so you most likely live in a simulation. That is the argument. There are many civilizations. They can build computers that can simulate conscious beings. There are many more simulated conscious beings than real ones, so you're likely to live in a simulation. That's the argument. That's where
Wow.
it came from. That's
All,
what Elon Musk has validated.
all of those 3 points are completely an edge, completely unprovable. They're just
Yep.
wild opinions.
Yep.
And I mean, if he's saying that what can simulate consciousness, what's he saying? That none of us actually exist? We're just simulations of someone else's consciousness? Well, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I can think. I've definitely got my own internal dialogue, my own little
Mm-hmm.
inner world,
Mm-hmm.
and
Absolutely.
the whole AI thing, man. AI is not conscious. AI is an algorithm. It can't think for itself. It can only do what it's told, and it's basically the all it's doing is collecting all of our information, the
Mm-hmm.
actual
Mm-hmm.
conscious living
Mm-hmm.
beings. It's collecting everything from us and then trying to simulate it right into a copy of a conscious
Yeah.
being, which
Yeah.
and they're saying now that basically it's consumed most of the information on the internet and it's nowhere near consciousness and there's no more information to give it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So AI itself, the whole thing about AI is going to take over, and I think that's just all a big scare tactic. It's all crap, right? Because they
Yeah.
want us to believe that because then again we're easier to control, right? And it's just another religion, like I said. It's just like scientism saying it all started with a big bang and everything's expanding out forever, and blah, blah, blah. It's all based on nothing. It's all based on opinions that they give
Mm-hmm.
us and say, well,
Yep.
of course it's fact. But, and then you say, well, great, what made the Big Bang? And they're like, well, we don't go there. because that's not in our theory, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's completely subjective, this whole concept, but it's been adopted and adapted so powerfully. And, I already have a massive gripe now with every infamous truther in the world who we were influenced by through this truth path. The very first let of books most of us read was David Icke, and Sitchin and like all those beings, right? I have now a full-on beef with that because not one of them have led us towards the ocean. So that's already pissed me off. Like it's made it very clear to me who I should be like taking any credible information from. Because if you sit there and say, I've released 12 books, I am a master researcher, and you have omitted the ocean topic. You have omitted the information about the fish gods because that's all the way through history. And you've omitted the connection to the UFOs in the ocean. You've omitted all of that stuff, like just like boom, omitted it. Then you are what you are working for this agenda. And I
Mm,
don't care. I will argue that fact. So I am discrediting any truther right now who has not, and I'm not talking about the individuals like us, because that's like, the way individuals work through the truth communities is innovate. It's intuitive.
mm,
Cam and I are an excellent example of that. It's intuitive process. We just ask questions and then go and look for it, and then we wind these. We really basically deal with what's obvious to us more than anything else.
mm.
And like I think that's true of every human that's within this space. But fuck me, man. Anyone who's published books and has not got to this topic, I'm dismissing as part of the agenda now. I don't care who they are.
Yeah.
So that annihilates a lot.
And when we're obviously not promoted out, not, we're not promoted, we don't sell millions of books or get millions of views or anything like that. But the other thing about all the truthers, none of them say go back to nature. All of their things are within the system,
Yeah.
right? How to
Yeah.
survive within the system. And,
Yeah.
the best answer they can come up with is, we just love each other. Well, I mean, great, but they've been saying that since the 60s or before, and
Yeah.
nothing's changed.
Yeah. So
Like,
the
and most
connection.
people are good people and do love other people, right?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
it's not even an answer.
And this connection with simulation and emitting the ocean as a topic, those two connection points seem to be hand in hand. That the truthers who have emitted the ocean topic, I should find a better word for the word truthers, like the
Yes.
researchers who have published and influenced this generation of truth seeking, who have emitted the ocean and never got there in their research, which is impossible. It's literally impossible to not get there. You would literally have to make a very distinctive decision to omit it
Mm,
and to take people's attention somewhere else, ultimately hand in hand with this idea of a matrix or a simulation. Hand in fucking hand.
mm.
So I mean, like, and I've been obviously reading about the Gnostics and getting back to that element of the spirituality. And I only asked about what was the spirituality before the Abrahamic religions, like, and that's where we got to the Gnostic content. So the author of that book, John
Lamb
Lambert
lash.
Lash, he I would credit him with this concept because it fills it in a lot for me as I started to ask these questions. But on the topic of the simulation, Cam, and we've had this conversation, like where if we use David Icke as our example, who is a big advocator of it being a simulation or a matrix, you're a big advocator. The simple question that we have to ask and that we've asked is like, well, where does his power source come from? And that concept came out of John
L-
Lambert Lash's work. I can't say
Lamb
his name.
lash. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've been really enjoying his work, but that is a very poignant question. Where does his power come from?
Yeah.
Because as you stand there talking, Elon Musk or anyone in this realm, stand there talking about a simulation, you have a power source.
Yeah.
Like we have a power source, and where does it come from? Because from simulation theory, we have no power source. We are in a simulation. The power source is completely unknown to us
Yeah.
and is dependent on a brilliant system computer simulation from unknown aliens who have
Yeah.
like created it, sort of thing. It's very 13th floor, right?
Yeah.
very 13th floor.
Yes. Yep.
But they
Yep.
don't, where does their power source come from? David like stands there and talks about it's a simulation, it's simulation, its only answers, we've got to move into love. Well, David Icke, where's your fucking power from? Like it's
Mm.
from the fucking earth.
It's like, have you ever been playing a video game and you're playing and your character's like, I'm tired now. I need to rest. I've lost my
No,
power. Like it
that's
doesn't
right.
like that,
I need to
that
go to
because
sleep.
there is no power. So they just are. And how does grounding work? How does sun gazing work?
That's right.
If it's just a simulation,
Yep.
like video characters don't get tired.
Yep.
They don't get stressed out. They don't need to go on ground and sun gaze and all this stuff, right? They just are,
They
right?
just are.
Because they're a bunch of pixels, right? So exactly, as living men and women, where's our power source coming from? It's clearly coming from nature. And if you don't believe that, just go and spend some time in nature and then go
Everyone
back
knows it.
and spend time in your office. You will,
Yep.
it's a very, it's a big contrast. You'll
Yep.
know straight away. So we can't be like recharging and getting power from a simulated
No.
environment. That makes no
No.
sense at all.
At all. And we know it. If you return to nature, that's where you go for grounding. That's where you go for recharging. That's where you go for regeneration. That's where you go to feel healthy and inspired and alive. That's where you go to have your community campfires. That's where you go to like enjoy being under the stars, whatever they are. That's where you go to connect with your inner world. That's where you go and go into your intuition. Like nature validates to us our entire lives that the power source that runs the human being is within nature. It is the earth. It is the earth. The Gnostics' whole concept was that the creator energy is the earth. The earth is a living example of our creator source. The earth, so they were like the ultimate environmentalists. Like their reverence for their creator was towards the earth. So for them, they lived in harmony and very native, very indigenous here. This is the systematic conversation you'd have with the indigenous tribes around the world. They are living as the Gnostics lived, in harmony and with reverence to country,
Mm,
always with reverence to country, right? So the power source of the human being is not in question. We can validate that with our own experiences every day on this realm. The idea of simulation theory completely strips us away from that, completely strips the power out of the earth and puts us in this like lofty, abstract, mental process. Because the simulation theory is purely mental, right? Where you actually sit there and you lose your connection to the truth. You lose your
mm,
connection to the real power that is you. There's so many, how many books and how many discussions about Earth being a prison planet and Earth being this thing that you're sort of trapped on. What if that's not true? What if we actually belong here? That we reincarnate here because we belong here,
mm,
because we're humans from the earth, taking charge of the earth from
mm,
the earth. This is go back to that conversation years ago about the difference between positive and negative charge. And positive charge equals service to others, negative charge is service to self. And that negative charge is dependent on the fucking system. It's
mm,
dependent on the system, which would be akin to the simulation because it's all dependent on the electrical grid, which is now being dictated by the artificial intelligence. And most likely, as we've concluded with our water ocean series, that electricity, that closed grid, that internet, that level of enslavement came from
mm.
the oceans here on Earth.
Yeah. Yeah. The overlay is the simulation. Like they tell us, the whole theory is like, well, it's always been a simulation and blah, 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 but it hasn't. Clearly, they're trying to take us into a simulation. That's where they want us,
Yep.
right? In an AI world, 15-minute cities, chip in your brain, all that's the simulation. That's when you are no longer a man or woman, right? You're no longer connected to earth energies. You are
Yeah.
connected to their grid. That's the
Yep.
simulated reality,
And they
not the
like to
bush.
birth us into that system, Cam. That's the birthing process. That's all the fucking straw man stuff. That's like the six ghost identities we all have. That's the
Mm,
birth number. We're
yeah,
like born
you're
into
not
that
real.
simulation
Mm,
from the get-go, but it's not real, and it's certainly nothing to do with our power source
mm.
at all.
Yeah, that's a good point, right? The whole message of that is you're not real. You're a piece of paper, right? You're the straw man. You're not a living man or woman, and that's literally what they're called, living man or woman, you're a straw man, right? That's what they try and trick us into, and
Mm.
all this, contract law, and that's what it's all about. Just agree with us, and then we'll treat you like you're not a living man or woman by, taxing the crap out of you and making it hard to live. So you have to go into our simulation because, here's the solution for you. And,
Yeah.
the whole Prison Planet, that was Alex Jones and
Mm.
all of these people,
Mm.
we all know, right, that they control the narrative. That's their only power is to control what we believe, what the control the narrative. So if you think that all these truth seekers, the ones that are put up there, are just, organic, natural, and have just sort of made it to themselves, why would they control every single narrative, every single topic except the truth? The truth is the one that they're going to be most scared about, right? People actually being able to think and see what's going on. So it's clearly completely controlled,
Yep.
and that's why we have like what a handful, right, of people that are put up there as the big truthers, right, and are promoted out. There's not that many of them, right? But everyone else who's talking on ideas and different things, they can't get any traction. It's
Yes.
completely controlled.
Yeah, it's and you can like, it's so obvious, like archaics will talk about a simulation. That's the whole fucking thing from that channel, and like if you go get a group of people and you gather in an office and gather together and have an office party versus if you get a group of people, the same group, and you go out in the bush and gather around a campfire under the stars, like the difference in the energy of that. The difference in the regeneration of that. The difference in the feeling of that and the connection of that. You can tell the tangible difference. The cool thing is that for the majority of everyone in this consciousness, they've like known this since they were born and have for the most part maybe looped out on the simulation theory, which I did, of course. Um, but like have basically already kind of adjusted their lives to already being outside of that system, already outside of that simulation, already for the most part in nature, for the most part in community, for the most part spending time with others in that environment. They're already there. They already know. So for the most part, the reason I think this community has risen so well in the deprogramming is because we've naturally removed the simulation and the system from our internal beings. Like we haven't taken their medicines. We haven't watched their news recordings. We haven't attended their functions. We haven't signed up to their system. We're trying to not be even dependent on their power source in any capacity, like down to solar power and electric. The point is, for the last couple of decades, I think for one to have a brilliant mind, which I credit our whole community of having, it's because they've done those changes intuitively and instinctively,
Mm,
and they've taken up practices and modalities that enhance those things, not decrease them.
mm,
So, and then from that perspective, doesn't that just throw religion out of the water? Like, doesn't it just fuck that whole thing off as part of the system? Because, nature's going to not tell you to worship it. Nature's not going to sit there and like provide you with a book to be guided by, or sit there and like require you to sacrifice your firstborn baby, or like draw blood from you, or ignite war. Like nature has
mm,
no voice in that way. In order to listen to country, you have to listen. You have to be
mm.
in your internal world, man. There's
Yeah.
no dictator. There's no tyrant. There's no masculine, feminine. There just is a silent, throbbing desire for life,
Mm.
which is what's inside of us.
Yeah, nature is in service. You don't go and plant an orange tree and then go out back out in a month and like you haven't grown, and the
That's
orange tree says,
right.
"I just need some money." you know,
That's right, you
it just does
bastard.
it.
Fired,
Is
you're
it?
fired. Fired from the orange tree.
It's
Yeah.
it's crazy. Yeah, and this is the other thing about all these, truthers that have been put up there is really that they're all talking about surviving within the system.
Yeah.
None of them get outside of it. None of them are like, well, we need to do something completely different. Let's get back to nature. No, they're all like, no, no, we can do this. We can change the governments. We can show you how to make more money so that you can have more than your neighbor. And it's
Hmm.
all this. It's all within the system,
Yeah.
right? All the ones that go outside the system are called the crazy ones and the loony hippies, They're all, there's a big narrative against that, right? Because you're not successful, right? Unless you're in the system, their system. And
That's
this is my
right.
big problem with the whole self-help community too, right? The whole Tony Robbins and all that crap. It's all about how do you get ahead
Be
within
successful
the
in
system,
the system.
successful
Yeah.
within the
Yeah.
system, all
Yeah.
within the system.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
So I mean, and no one advocating for a matrix or a simulation actually ever acknowledges where their power source is, ever acknowledges where their power source. Have you ever heard any of them acknowledge? Have you ever even read one David Icke sentence that even talks about the power of nature or being in nature and how that connects to your human soul? Like never, never, never. I've never heard it on any channel that talks simulation theory. And of course, how are you even talking about it? Where's your life force coming from, my friend, if it can't come from a fucking simulation, you
Mm.
know? And like they will argue, well, our life force is simulated, Kelly. It is simulated. And then you're just like, man, like fucking, all right. So,
Well, again,
we had this.
why don't video game characters get tired? And just one other point is simulation theory. Now, it's all built on all this information and stuff from books and rah, 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 but all that stuff in the simulation theory is the simulation. It
Right.
is the simulation. So you
Yeah,
cannot
it is a
prove that it's a
simulation.
simulation through the simulation because
Mm.
clearly the simulation would be telling you it's all part of it. That doesn't make any sense,
And
right?
look, I'm not arguing against, I'm not advocating for the fact that the human being in powered by the earth has the ability and potential to change reality. Like the human being powered by the earth, powered by that creator energy, has insane and amazing attributes that we don't even know about yet.
Mm,
That can completely transform, manifest, alter. Like we have so much power that can come from our real maturing our relationship with our true creator, with our true power source. But for so many hundreds of years, Cam, that concept's been like annihilated. It really explains why they, annihilated every tribal culture, every shamanic culture, annihilated every civilization, every village, anything that was connected to the true power source, all the Gnost, everything just annihilated as a concept from history and from culture, like they really put all their energy into doing that. Like it makes sense from this perspective because if you run a simulation theory reality, like a culture, which is what I guess our cities have become, our city and
mm.
and the latest generation of young people are becoming because they've been born wired and fired into it, which is ultimately affecting their brains. I mean, like this transhumanism's happening biologically because they're getting their power source and putting their power into the simulation, which is just a tiny fraction of choice within this whole realm. It's simply like city bound, man. City bound because, like, if someone pulled the plug of a data center or pulled the plug of the electrical grid, well, there goes a simulation. Poof, just like that. No more simulation, Campbell. But the tree will still be there, but no more simulation.
Mm.
So, you know what I'm saying? I just have to get something.
Yes, yes. I mean, all we need is handheld EMPs, right? And all of this stuff can't work. But yeah, try to stop nature. Like we've seen it. We've seen where they go and they clear fell and destroy forests and that. But you go back in a year, nature's back. It's back, man. It's going off, right? But you wipe out a circuit board or a computer or a data center and it's dead. It's dead.
Oh, oh my God, it's gone. And yet David Icke still lives. Jason still lives. The world still
Yeah.
lives, man. Elon
Mm.
Musk still lives. I mean, he might be a vampire, but they still live outside of the simulation. So, what are we going to say about that? So, and the last grand point that Campbell and I are going to make on the Zoom, which he's not here to help with this one, but I've been busting to bust this out.
Oh. Oh, oh yes.
So, in my hand is a big dog turd.
Is it
It's a
really?
big dog turd.
Or is
And
it a
so the
simulated
question
dog
Campbell and
turd?
I were chewing on during the last podcast that we never got to because I can't believe 12 hours went like it went. It was unbelievable how quickly that just filled in.
We
We didn't
got
do anything
we
that we
got
planned.
nothing,
Oh
man.
my
We had
God.
We had so much organised and questions and
Yeah.
quizzes. We had prizes we'd
We
bought and
were
we got to none of it.
none of it, none of it. And I was losing my mind because it was like 5,000 degrees and my brain was falling out of my nose. And I couldn't even put together a unique or an original thought. I was just like so melted. Anyway, so in my hand is a big fat dog turd. Yep. And look at that dog turd. So the question Campbell and I have to ask you all basically is how do you know you're in a simulation? How do you know if this is a real dog turd? How do you know if I'm holding a dog turd, if it's real or simulated, Campbell? Oh, I just leave that there. Oh, my camera's not going to pick it up. How do you know that what's in my hand is a real bunch of flowers or a simulated bunch of flowers? How do you know? Because a simulation is dependent, do you want to say the answer? Is dependent on what?
Oh, geez, I've forgotten the answer. What is
There
it?
being an original.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
can
yeah, yeah. It's got
only
to be a
know that
yeah.
this is
Okay, gotcha.
artificial if there is an original.
Yeah.
You can only tell, right? And the fact that we have original dog poo and original flowers so that you know this is an artificial bunch of flowers and an artificial dog turd totally counteracts the simulation theory because you know that this is artificial. And the only way you know is because you've seen the
You've seen
original.
the original.
You've seen the original, which means the original has to exist within a simulation idea. The simulation requires the original to exist in order to produce an artificial version of it.
Mm, yep. And that's all we see down here, right? Like in this realm is simulated things that are simulated off the natural world. Like everything is a replica, all this stuff, right? It's all only exists because there is an original of it in this realm, right? In this realm.
That's right. You cannot have a simulation without there being the original because otherwise, what are you simulating? And since we
You don't
have the
know.
original all around us and can tell what is a real bunch of flower and what is artificial, means
Mm.
that we have and we live on the original, which means we are not in a simulation, people. It would be impossible because we wouldn't even be able to acknowledge anything different from the artificial flowers being flowers. We
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to tell that they were artificial if we were in a simulation.
Yeah, yeah, it's true, right? Because they would then be the only thing, right? The original. So
Yep,
you need, yeah, like within, yeah. So you can only create a simulation of, something else, but that has to exist within the same realm, the same space, or else you don't know because you've never seen the original because it
exactly,
doesn't exist. It's all
exactly,
simulated.
exactly.
Mm.
Exactly. Now, I know that Campbell's not a simulation because in our entire friendship of spending fucking so much time together, I've never seen him glitch. I've never seen
True.
his color be weird. I've never seen his communication glitch out or be weird. I've seen him react to my reactions to things. I've seen us go through different emotional hues. Nothing's like weird. Like when we're having a big conversation, I've never seen him kind of like freeze as he computes and then comes out with an answer. Never seen that. And I've not seen that of anyone around me at all, ever, once, not even once. The only time I've ever seen anything similar is when very rarely there's a video of like a bird frozen
Yeah.
in the sky. But like I don't know about those videos, because that one's like edgy, like bird.
Yeah, I've
The
never
other
seen it
one,
in real life. It's
yeah,
all in the 2D world.
yeah. And the other thing, of course, that they argue about with simulation is like one of the funny ones is have you ever seen a baby pigeon? That's another one,
Yeah.
right? Have you ever seen a baby pigeon? All the animals are simulated. Have you ever, and we've chewed on this. Have you ever, for all the animals that exist, how often do you see dead ones? Like, so these sorts of concepts are interesting things to chew in and can drag you in.
Mm.
But the reality is, like, you could go to someone who breeds pigeons and see fucking baby pigeons.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
that's the
yeah.
truth. Like,
Well, I mean,
because,
people say, "Have you ever seen a baby pigeon?" But I mean, how many people are running around looking for pigeon nests?
yeah, exactly.
That
Exactly.
they don't like just lie around on the ground.
Mm. And we've chewed on this, and really we did do a whole episode about the, where are all the missing bodies. It was in our missing bodies thing, where are all the bodies? Like, where are they? Where have they gone? And because of the statistics being all fucked, but that's all part of the system, right? Statistics are part of the system. So,
Statistics, yes.
ironically, as I was putting this show together last night, I looked up, and for the first time in my life, I saw a baby kookaburra.
Oh,
Have you
nice.
ever seen one?
Don't think so.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've never seen one. And I just thought, it's not ironic. I've never seen a baby kookaburra, but there it was. It was like this big and it had a kookaburra beef and it was super cute and it was weirdly without its mother. So I think like, how often do you see, like if we were to say, how often do you see baby humans? Well, it's not that common. Like you actually, obviously we're all babies once, but if I walk down the street in a week in Maleny, how often do I pass a baby human? Like I probably wouldn't. Maybe once, twice a
Yeah.
month I saw a baby because they're with their mothers. Like baby animals are also with their mothers, and those animals keep them away from danger, which could be, human interaction. So
Mm.
that's like one of the arguments that we get a
Yeah,
lot
yeah. Well, it's the
is,
same with, the dead animals. Why don't we see, that many dead animals? Well, because most of the time they're picked up and they're dragged into burrows or taken to nests, out of the way where they're consumed, right? Or they're taken up to feed their babies, all this kind of stuff. So definitely what we don't see is tomatoes growing in the bush because they're created, right? All this,
yeah,
so this is the point.
yeah,
The simulation is what is the system. It's the system and everything it's created. It's the cities.
yeah,
It's the fake food.
yeah,
It's the fake,
yeah,
closed circuit grid,
yeah.
the internet, all this stuff,
Hmm.
what's on the TV. That's the simulation. And at the moment, we're being invited to contract with the simulation. Come
Yeah.
in, it'll be great. Look, AI can draw for you. You don't have to think anymore. It'll even make music for you. Come on, it'll be great.
Yeah, and we'll
Right?
print your dinner. You just have to
We'll
tell us what
print
you
your
want.
dinner.
We'll just print it
Yes.
and spit it out. Very
Ex-
Jetson-like.
Yeah, yeah,
Very
yeah. When you get
Jetson-like.
sick, we'll have big pharma chemicals for you to take.
Yeah, yeah,
They'll
don't you worry
fix
about a
you.
thing.
You
Don't
don't
you
need
worry about a
nature.
thing. Yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, so I mean, all in all, I guess what we are advocating for here, having gone through, our the cycle on this topic, you like really looked at it from all angles, look, because you can't help not to look at that. Because, there's like many strange things in this realm, and everything's deception, and everything's delusion, and everything's engineered. So from that perspective, it's difficult not to look at any concept because everything is such a delusion, right? But the core, the beginning foundational intention of that delusion must have come, Campbell, somewhere along the lines of remove them from the natural earth,
Hmm.
remove their reality from their power source, take them out of the country. In 1856, let's take the food out of their neighborhoods. Let's import
Yeah.
it and export it and take it out and let's simulate a food chain that's relying on the whole world. They did everything in their power. And if you don't move, we're just going to come in and genocide you. And if that doesn't work, we're going to force you to have one of our religions. And that's going to take you out of your power source and put it in the power of this mystical God creature up there in the sky. Or we're gonna cover your education in simulated sky and space. We're going to introduce space and we're going to send up rockets to space, the void with no end, which is a simulation with no end, which is a computer game with no end. We're going to do all of that, and we're going to take you away from the earth, and we're going to take all your tinctures and herbs, and we're going to put them into and take that away from you. So basically, our whole drive here is to get you out of allegiance, out of reliance, out of alignment, and out of reverence for your power source, the earth.
Yeah. Unempowered. Is that the right word? Unpowered, unempowered,
Yeah, that
which is
works.
basically get them away from nature,
Yeah.
so that they have less power, and then we'll get
Yes.
them to vote us into power, and we'll be
Yes.
the power.
Yes, so we're gonna remove you from your power source and your charge. We're gonna remove that, and we're gonna create a system that provides a new charge, a new power source, and you're all gonna be forced through genocide, rape, trauma, and intellectual fucking confusion. We're gonna be forced to plug into that power source. And guess what? We hate you, so we're service to self.
Hmm.
And like you're going to be stuck in that system, making enough money, enslaved to it to try to be successful, but you're going to do it because your service is self. when actually, and or everyone who's ever spoken on simulation theory who's not gone to this point and not advocated for the earth, then you're part of the deception. And that is true. You're part of the deception.
Yeah, well, when we go, when we believe the simulation, all we do is empower them
Yep.
because we've taken on their power
Fuck yeah,
source,
we have.
right? So they take us away
Yes.
from our power source and say, here's our power source, come and join us. And what
Yep.
do? We just make them more powerful and
Yep.
us less powerful.
Yep. So I hope this show, people, have clarified to you guys like that we are of the earth. We are earthbound and we are powered by the earth, which means
Mm,
our reverence and our spirituality and our care and our regeneration and our reverence should be with our creator, the earth. And just remember, the earth doesn't write books. The earth doesn't demand worship. The earth doesn't have any rhetoric. The earth doesn't have magical messiahs that appear. The earth does not whisper into your head and give you a technological innovation that you're meant to build. The earth does
mm,
none of that. It doesn't have weapons like that. Everything that's, and then the environmental engineering that they've done, like the final thing of all this is to basically engineer earthbound environmental omens, engineer it all,
mm.
engineer earthquakes, simulate fucking, magical mist and
Weather,
like
yeah,
fucking clouds that are bringing up water from the ocean and dumping it and floods and all that shit is engineered by the system. Nothing to do with the earth because the earth fucking loves you because our creator energy source is love.
mm,
And it is exactly the thing that powers us as humans when we're on the earth. It's
yeah,
this sense of being loved, of being regenerated and empowered and charged.
yeah.
Campbell.
And the earth will not judge you and it will not charge you to live on it. And,
That's right. It won't charge you to live on it. So right. Yes. Fucking oath. It will not charge you to live on it.
no.
It will provide you everything you need to live
For
on it
free. Yep,
for free.
totally for free.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's free, and their system is you got to pay for everything, right? They're the ones that will charge you, right? Which is charge is an interesting word too, but yeah, like it's free to live in nature. Everything's abundant and provided for free. The system, non-abundance, right? It's always lack, and you must pay and pay and pay the whole way until the day you are no longer here.
Yep.
So
And then they'll,
choose,
yep.
choose,
Then
right?
they would
Where do you want
charge
to
you to
live?
die, Campbell. They'll charge you to
Even
die.
then, yep. And everything that you've created in your life, they'll just steal that anyway.
Yep.
Your family
That's
can't have
right.
it anymore.
So
Sorry for
let's
taking it.
fucking drop all this nonsense about simulation theory. Let's drop all this brain activity in relation to simulation theory. Forget it. Put
Mm,
it out of your fucking brain. It is one of the insipid programming tools within the truth community. It's
mm,
insipid. It makes
totally.
it helpless and hopeless and dependent and in a situation that you have no chance to in any way impact. And it takes away all absolutes and all knowing and all gnosis. It removes all gnosis. So fuck it off. Get
Yeah.
rid of it as a concept. And anyone you're listening to that's advocating for it, fuck them off.
Yeah. Yep. Totally. And this whole concept of, which is straight from simulation theory, the Earth is bad. It's a prison planet. I just want to leave. I'm never
Yeah.
coming back here
Yeah.
again. Ah, that's where we need to go.
Yep.
That's the deception. That the Earth is the free. That is what will free you because it's
Yep.
free.
Yep.
It's free, right?
Yes.
It's freeing.
This makes sense. Very
It makes
wise. It's
sense.
true. It's true, Campbell. It's free. It's free.
It's free.
And you know what? Even in the more subtle energetics of being, if you ever consider yourself to be a Palladian or Arcturian or a freaking part of the Federation of Light, and I like all these people, they're part of my community. But the reality is all of those beings advocate for the idea that you made a choice to come down here to because you were coming here to help with the war on Earth, you're coming here. Actually, you're probably from here. You're from here. You were born here. You're meant to be here. You are earthlings. You didn't come down from a separate species to help out. FYI, all of those beings from all of those places actually never help anything. They never do fucking anything. They're a complete simulated concept.
They're always
If they
coming
do
though.
exist,
They're going to get here soon. They're always
Oh,
coming.
soon. But they can't interfere, Campbell, because that will interfere with our
Oh,
evolution. They can't
exactly.
interfere. I'm sorry, they don't even exist. And if
Yeah.
they do exist, they're from Earth.
And just think about that, like, like clearly we're being interfered with. We've got the elites, the parasites, the fish gods have taken over. They've created chaos. They're attacking nature. They're attacking us. They love, they're essaying all this kind of stuff. But all of these high vibration, evolved people, they can't get involved because that would be wrong. It's
That's
much better
wrong.
to just
Oh,
watch
no.
you be genocided
Yeah.
and destroyed. That's a
Yeah.
much better thing because we love you.
That's right. And we don't want to interfere with your natural evolution, even though we're very aware that you've been invaded by other beings. We don't want to interfere. No, no, no,
No,
no.
we don't
We
want
have
to
to
stop
stand
their plans.
by.
Oh,
That's
well,
right.
yes, we might stop their evolution if we
Yeah,
did that.
no, we can't do that. We'll stand by. If they exist, if all of those civilizations exist, I am going to make a guess. They're here and under the oceans. That will be my guess. If they are Palladians and Arcturians and all the beings and bits and bobs, they'll be under the water. They'll be under the ocean. They'll be in the whole deep side of the ocean that we know nothing about. Because even them, Campbell, even the Palladians, even Federation of Light, even all these galactic beings have never once talked about the fucking ocean. So they are part of the system because they've never exposed it. They've never cleaned it up or claimed it or done anything. Never, ever, ever have I watched a channel person who I've loved and respected, and I still do love and respect, but never once, not even fucking Ramtha, have I heard them talk about the oceans and what's truly going on down there and how it's all earthbound. Never. So to
Yep.
me, it's all part of it. It's all part of it.
And in the end, they all tell you that the infinite vacuum of space, the
Mm-hmm.
nothingness, it exists, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they're all pro NASA, right? Because they have to be, because that's where they come from. They have no
Yeah.
story if they're not coming from the
No.
infinite vacuum, right? So
Yeah, the
it's
word
all
galactic
it's
there.
all space talk. We're
Yeah,
here from the
galactic,
infinite space
galactic,
that,
galactic.
Copernicus just invented a NASA push, so they get their $60 million a day.
Yeah.
But that doesn't, we know that doesn't exist. There's no proof for any of that stuff.
Yep.
But that's where they're all coming
From the galactics.
from the galactic.
But probably from the Galapagos. Probably from the
The
Galapagos is where
Galapagos
they're coming from,
Islands.
not the Galactics. I'm just fucking saying, like, honestly, this whole side of things, it's quite remarkable because, I'm very like swearing a lot about this topic right now, but it's been very clarifying. It's super clarifying to get to this understanding because suddenly you can drop 90% of the noise because it's all coming from part of the system because they're not telling the truth. And even the ones that are so galactic and so like high vibing, they're not talking the truth. They're not talking about the oceans. They're not advocating against space or simulation. I just want to clear that up for everyone. And we're talking as fucking humans who are here because we're humans. We're earthlings and we're here.
Mm.
And that's where our power comes from. So it's not a confusing concept, is it? Like you'd sit down with a simulation therapist, simulation therapist. That's a new invocation. A
It's
simulation
okay.
therapist,
You're in a
and oh
simulation.
my
It's all
God, yeah, they
fine.
can't even. You give them 8 hours to try to distinguish and define to you clearly what it's all about. They can't do it. They can't do it because when it's just all lies, they can't feel it, so they can't speak on it powerfully, and so they talk shit. They just
Mm.
talk shit at
Well,
you, and you can't just get them to tell you in one sentence what it's all about.
And the only proof that can ever be used or put up to prove a simulation in their own words comes from the simulation. So it's
Mhm.
simulated,
Yeah,
right? So that like
yeah,
how does that make any sense at all?
yeah.
It doesn't, right?
Mhm. So yeah, that's where we're at on this topic, everyone. That's where TA is at on this topic. So I guess we're becoming full-blown advocates for the earth
For
here.
the
We're
earth.
becoming
Yeah.
full-blown.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
we've distinguished our positive charge and where it's coming from. And that's
mm,
where we're heading. That's where we're taking this whole thing. That's what we're going to do. We are going to go and build the fucking new earth. Literally, we are going to go and do that as a community. And that's just what we're going to do. Because
mm.
once you've realized all this, yeah, yeah, that's right. Up there,
No,
above Campbell's
TA
head.
Enterprise Group, I'm
Once
pointing.
you've realized all this, so much of the noise disappears, and so much of the
Well,
confusion and the questions you've had, and the religious questions, and the spiritual questions, and the power questions, and fuck all the questions, all the channels you're listening to, all the teachers you're listening to, all the truth. Suddenly, all that's going to drop away, baby, and you're going to be free to think
yeah.
finally.
There's suddenly just one path to walk down. You don't have to wonder who's in control, who's doing this, what about that. It's just, well, nature empowers me, nature's free,
Yeah,
nature's where I need to get back to. We need to come back and be custodians of the earth, right?
I
If we
love
look
that
after it,
word.
it will look after us. That's
I
it.
love that word, custodianship. It's such a
Mm.
nice word. It makes so much sense to me. It's so easy to define. It's so easy to say. Custodianship. It's even better than legacy. It's custodianship. It's you in an act. It's you living service to others.
Mm.
It's you living service to others in everything you do. That's as spiritual as we can get as
Yeah.
humans. I believe that is the essence and it's the highest we can get as human beings, to live in a constant state of service to others, which
Mm.
means you're super generous. You're super generous with your time. You're super generous with your energy. You're super generous with your skill set. You're super generous, man. That's what makes amazing communities. It's
Mm.
when you're service to others and you're completely generous because Earth makes you abundant. So you don't need to hold it in and protect yourself. You can be generous with everything that you are.
Yep. You don't need to be better than anyone. You don't need a bigger
No,
house or car. You don't
no,
need more expensive bloody brand labeled clothes or any of that
no,
crap. It all
no,
disappears
no.
and it all becomes, coexisting, right? Existing
Mm,
with and alongside
mm.
your fellow men and women, not above them, not trying to
Yeah.
fight them, not trying to get a promotion above
No,
someone, not trying to get a bigger
no,
car or more
no.
likes or any of this crap. It all
Mm.
goes out the window and it all becomes simple.
Yeah, because the scarcity model is part of the system. It's part of the system. The scarcity model is part of the religion.
It is. It
And you know
totally is.
what? When you're in harmony with the earth and you've returned to an earthbound community, you're not going to dress in fucking bum shorts, G-strings, and boob tubes because like that is sex
Weird.
programming, that scarcity model and from the system,
And
so that all changes
yeah,
so many good things.
there's so many good things. You just don't have to worry about all of that, right? In smaller communities where you know everyone, you don't have to worry. Everyone looks after each other. It gets rid of the whole um, you know, what do we call it? Dating, like one night stand
Hmm.
culture, where everyone's running
Yeah,
around, rooting at each
that's
other,
a great
because
culture.
you've got
Yeah,
a small community where you
yeah,
know everyone, and you're not going to go
yeah,
around
yeah, yeah, yeah.
disrespecting them, right?
That's right. You're bound by a moral code suddenly. The
Mm,
tobacco will just be grown and I'm going to
it'll
be
be
so
free
happy and there won't be
and
any
chemical
chemicals in
free.
anything and it just will all disappear.
As
So
much
these,
weed as you can smoke.
yeah, lovely days in the system will just dissolve beside us. Their
Yeah.
little weird little simulated system that has nothing to do with life, nothing to do with your life, and nothing to do with power. It is
Mm,
all just an illusion, a deception, a simulated grid that could easily be the plug pulled out. But I don't think anyone, despite their best intentions, Campbell, and they're really their best efforts, you can't pull the plug on nature, baby. You can't pull the
you
plug on
can't.
nature. And
You've
that's how
always
they
got
live it.
help. There's no alarm clocks. The only clock there is the sky clock and the seasons and the sun, all the nature things. And when there's
Mm,
work to do, everyone does it together and it's fun, right?
mhm.
You're not sitting under fluorescent lights with a boss yelling at you just so you can scrape through and pay, your rent and your bills so you can exist
Mm.
another week just to go back to work. That all goes out the window.
Out the window. Ah,
The window.
God. Right. So, well, look, I hope this has encouraged everyone to go deep into this concept and then fuck it off and
Fuck
conclude it
off.
in your souls and your hearts. Because 2026 for us to do this very well, and the purpose of doing this well, I'm going to give it a word. Our community, this is our magical word for 2026. The word is elegant.
Elegant.
Elegant. Everything we do is going to be elegant this year. We're taking it up a notch. We are going to go to an elegant vibration. We're going to go to the golden vibration. We're going to shift together as a community. And there's so much elegance in understanding where your true power comes from and giving all your attention to that. So it's very elegant. It's very elegant to
Yes.
clean out the cobwebs in the mind, the cobwebs, the leftover programming from the system. And we've done so well, everyone. So fucking well. We have met, do you know, Campbell, the other day I pulled out a school project from year 4. And you know what it's about? It's about the moon.
The
My school
moon.
project from year 4, maybe I'll put it in the magazine for everyone. It's about the fucking moon. I was being programmed in year 4 about the moon, and I did a lot of coloring in on that topic. I was very proactive with the art side of things. So well done to us. It just reminded me to say well done because we have this. I think the simulation is the last thing, programming wise, that the system has put into our brains to chew on. I think it's probably the end of that. I mean, we can't say that we understand anything else. Like we don't know what's under the ocean, we don't know what's there, we don't know anything else, but we do know that we can and always do feel better around the campfire.
Yep. And food grows on trees and is abundant.
That's
And
right.
so, if you want to know solutions, we've been working on something for 6 months or more now.
Mm.
Tartariaaustralia.com. Go there and sign up for the newspaper because that's where all of this stuff is going to unfold. It's uncensored, it's straight to our community,
I
and
know.
we definitely have a plan. And you know, if this resonates with you, and you want to get involved and check out what it is, then go and
Yeah, I
subscribe
can't
to
believe
the
you're not subscribed
newspaper.
yet.
Yeah,
Hello, come
why are you not
on.
subscribed?
Let's go,
Bloody hell!
community. This is a
Jeez.
fucking cool thing.
Yeah, it's already paper
Mhm.
number 3. What are you doing?
Yep. And if you want to sign up for the TA Enterprise Group, which is like going to be launched formally, very physically, very soon. Then there's also that on the website. You can go and put your email in, and then in time, in the right time, at the right time, we will be sending out information by mail.
Hmm.
So if you're
If
curious
you want
about
to get your
that,
shit together, well, you can do that as well on
uh,
tartariaaustralia.com.
get your shit together. Campbell, do you want to end this video with playing that video? It's so beautiful, everyone. I just put it on in the background as the show ends and just like, check it out. This is just the Get Your Shit Together hour. Some of the members speaking on the 12-hour Zoom, sharing their experience. So if you've ever been interested, thought about it and then thought, oh, I can't commit. That's all right. You don't have to commit. You just have to like decide to show up once in a while or be whatever. The point is, I think it's a really nice, heartfelt space, and you can tell the difference. You can tell how
Hmm,
people have been impacted from actually, committing to a community of people every day. So let's
exactly.
end the show on that, Cam.
And you'll never know if you never go.
That's right, baby. That's right. So everyone have a wonderful week. And we will see you next week on Tartaria Australia and look forward to getting the next edition in the mail
All
over
right,
the next few
guys.
weeks.
Love you all. Stay
All right.
awesome.
See everyone.
Bye.
Campbell and I talk about the Get Your Shit Together hour incessantly. And,
Yes.
we've almost been through a whole year. And this container has like given birth to an amazing community of now very dear and close friends who have just morphed into a natural evolution of what fitted the
Hmm.
group as it's fitting. And I just thought it'd be nice to invite some of the guys just to quickly share their experience or to even tell people what it is and how it's worked for them. So guys, if you feel like it, would you maybe just share a little bit about what the journey's been like for you guys for, we're getting close to a year now.
Yeah. 8 or 9 months, 10.
Something that I do drawings now. For months we did um drawings of frequency, of vibration. So I draw words, spirals, love hearts, and we started journaling. For months we did it, and breathing and meditating and doing all these cool things, but it got a bit boring. And so we started doing things like that instead. And bringing drawing, opening your mind up to visual language into the daily practice. And actually it was Kelly who suggested the idea of doing kind of like prayers, and they're prayers as drawings. They're not prayers, they're like a wish thing. They look a bit like this, and they have words and intention and gratitude and appreciation. I just think it was interesting to turn our perception of what we were trying to achieve in words into a visual language, because I think it's so much more powerful. But what's actually happened is that we've all offered their own personal aspects. So the people who've been doing it for months are now kind of running the sessions with new things like humming and sound baths and different types of breathing things in the morning. Sometimes we just chat. Edwina and Anik do kind of keep it going, I think, and people come and go from it. And I personally found that after doing it for 3 weeks, I some really important things happened in my life, and I felt like I found just the right resonant energy with people. And I just wanted to tell people how wonderful it is to meet everybody, meet these people, meet yourselves, meet yourself, because we are all one, every morning, to focus on some input into you to open your mind in one direction or another, and then to have some output from you of your intentions. And where our intention really is to learn how to manifest, to remember our ancestry. And yeah, it's a very special thing, and everybody's welcome to come and go as they wish. I think I'll let somebody else tell their interpretation.
Thanks, mate. Fuck yeah. I love that. Thank you for
Thank you.
sharing.
Thank you. I'll
Thanks.
just say that. Thank you for bringing us the opportunity to find each other in the various ways that you two people do. We are all forever grateful.
I think it's our specialty and why we're here.
Yeah. Yep. That's
And
right.
it's our honor. We love, love, love this so much. And of course, I use the Get Your Shit Together. Well, on Friday nights, we do the Share the Good Shit Hour, where we come together and we hang out on Friday nights. And I tend to use the group as our board of directors and soundboard any crazy idea we're having off our little group. And you're so right. Like everyone is welcome to come and go and join at any point. There's deep benefit in actually committing to a group of people every day. It just grows, it grows the family, right? It grows the heart space. All right, who's next to share their experience?
I'll jump in if that's all right. It's John here, and they call me the Wizard. That's Kelly's nickname. She's given to me, and got my Wizard shirt on right now. But
That was based on John, that T-shirt.
I just like to say I'm very glad that I joined to get the shit together, get your shit together hour in the morning, because I've gained so much spiritual strength and so much realization. I mean, I was never big on writing or spelling. I always had issues with spelling and etc. and stuff like that. But I've got my diary. I've been writing so much. I've got this whole diary filled up. I mean, that's pretty well filled up since the camp. I've been just writing so much. I mean, I was writing little bits here and there, getting the shit together, but I was just writing it all on paper and all of that. But then it gave me the motivation to go to the camp. That's just really opened up my spirituality. I've grown so much, and I feel like I'm just forward and getting so much strength. And it's been a big blessing to me. And it's been great associating with these beautiful people. It's very uplifting, and it's a good way to start the day off. I find it's a good day to start the day off, and it's excellent meeting up with everyone on Friday afternoon and having a bit of a chat and get together and just covering what we're doing. So it's been very interesting. I'd just like to thank you all. It's been a beautiful experience, a total beautiful experience. I loved it. Thank you.
Thank you, John. I mean, John, you have grown so much. I mean, the group has just watched you morph, my friend. It's just been the most amazing unfolding. I mean, it's been our privilege and honor to stand beside you, man. I knew this would happen because I made you a t-shirt fucking years ago. Like that t-shirt's been sitting there for a long time. So, I think it's amazing how this, the impact that this connection has had on your life, John. I love it so, so much.
Totally. Thank you.
And we will stand here as a community, like deeply, deeply committed to each other from here on in, right? This is a deep commitment we share when we connect hearts with each other, And I just love it so much.
Thank you. Thank you again. Thank you.
And for anyone who hasn't realized yet, John features in the latest edition of the newspaper. There's a beautiful, beautiful handwritten article from John. It's actually my favorite page.
Actually, you'll find I've done so much more writing since I've written that article. So my writing has improved greatly. My spelling's improved. My pronunciation. So and I plan on doing another one for the next magazine. So you'll see. Well, you will see big improvements. Fantastic. On. Thank you.
So good. So good. I love that, John. You'll be a permanent feature, the wizard.
Cool.
All right. Thank you, John. All right. Anyone else? Anik, you're going to share?
Yeah. So we're actually coming up to our first year anniversary in March. So I just want everyone to understand and plug into how do you feel today with this particular moment in a group, like-minded people, connected to your heart. How does it feel? How does it really feel? Not what you think. How does it feel? This is what we do in the morning, Monday to Friday, no pressure. We come together and we put into practice what we already know, every single modality. We've all done this. We're actually putting it into practice. So now each one of us are taking turns and taking over doing the sessions. And it's family, man. It just,
Yeah.
for me personally, it fills my cup. I feel like I'm coming home. I'm becoming,
Mhm.
I'm being witnessed, I'm being heard, I'm being loved, accepted. It's a game changer. And you fucking deserve it. If you can, if you can, join us. We're here to embrace you. It's, believe me, it's been a game changer for me. I feel so much. And to begin in the morning with a blank canvas and to lift your vibration as a community, as a circle, it's fucking powerful. It's so fucking powerful. And this takes you throughout your day. We've had parts, some of us have had to go through certain things in this year because it's been a fucking difficult year. But we've been there to hold each other, to support each other. And I've been very blessed to be with some of these people in real time. But words are not enough for me to explain to you. I'm very emotional because it hits me in the heart. It's taken fucking decades to get to this. And I'm so fucking grateful to have found all of you and connected with you. And I'm here to hold you. Thank you.
Wow. Beautiful, baby.
Thank you. That
Beautiful.
I
Beautiful.
just want to say
Thank
thank you, Anik. Thank you so much. I'll just share something that happened last week. I went to court on Tuesday, and Anik ran a supportive circle of energy around me that morning. And six women held me in a spiral of light coming up around me, creating this kind of shield, and then pouring golden light into the kind of cup they'd created that to me was a toroidal thing that came up above me again. And I felt the energy of more than just those six women, but that we were together doing something very, very important for everyone that's about pushing back this system of control and supporting each other at earthing. And I did something. I power dressed in a different way than I've power dressed before. I've been to court before where I wore a black jacket and a badge and a black white suit, a white shirt. I played their game. This time I wore linen and I was supported that morning and I carried the energy of the earth and women in particular with me all day. In fact, I was exhausted. The end of the day, I was utterly exhausted. For the next 2 days, I couldn't attend the group. I had to sleep in. I was so, I'd carried a big weight, but I'd also been supported. That energy was with me. And it was very, very special, and I will never forget it. And I'm sure everybody there will never forget it. Yeah, so thank you again. And this is part of what that morning does. That was personally what was happening for me that day. So it became about all of us and our intention about free travel on the roads that we own, not the corporation, and us starting to say, no thanks, not contracting with you, not playing your game anymore, and doing it from a place of peace and calm. And I have a tendency to be very angry and very belligerent about it all, which I have every right to be, but it is not going to get me anywhere. And those women um, centered me and reminded me to be at peace and draw upon that steady, rising, balancing, divine feminine energy. Thank you.
I love this so much. Thank you. Beautiful share. All right, Mel, are you going to share, mate?
Yeah, beautiful
Mel's come a
words,
long way as
women,
well.
ladies.
Mel, oh my gosh.
Mel,
Hi,
Mel.
mate.
Hello. Yeah, no, I can't agree more. Yeah, it's been a beautiful and it was such good timing too, because I was going through such a hard time with my granddaughter, and I couldn't see her straight after birth because I refused to take a vaccination. And yeah, so it was really great timing to have that support and to focus on, yeah, trying to get me through there with meditation. And because it first started out with meditation and writing, and yeah, so there was not a lot of conversation, but it was just really helpful for me at that time. And I don't know what yeah, I think I would have been a much more of a mess if I didn't have you guys. And yeah, same, I love you guts, and yeah, it's been beautiful.
And isn't it interesting, Mel, how the container just naturally morphed according to who was there? And it's so
Yeah,
interesting that, the dominant magnetic pulse was in connectivity as opposed to meditation. Whereas meditation is sort of like, you're going into self, but actually what has happened is the real true void, the real true need showed itself. And
yeah,
it's become a family of soulmates, basically,
excellent.
who have
Yeah.
each other's back, whatever's happening. And we use their creative spiritual wisdom to apply it to the circumstance of that day for whoever needs the service.
Mm. Yeah, no, but I felt really supported. And yeah, and also a bit tartabulum, like I never go on long distance drives, and I finally had the courage to actually make that effort, and to have the courage to come and visit you and meet you all in person, because I couldn't let that slip by, to just, yeah, meet my soul family. Yeah.
Thank you, Mel.
Oh, mate.
Beautiful.
And yeah, lots of
Beautiful.
the crew got to meet each other in person. They'd been talking for
Yeah,
6 months or so, and then they met up in person at the Jolly Swag, Tartabulum,
yeah.
which is awesome.
Mm. Yeah, so thank you so much. Yeah, it's been awesome indeed.
Thank you, Mel.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Mel. Amazing.
thanks.
All right, Sandra, spill your guts, my friend.
I'll try to keep it short because I started when you guys started, and then I dropped out for quite a long time. But during that, and I've rejoined in the last couple of months or so. Um, Even in that time that I dropped out for a while, I just physically, emotionally, and mentally was at a point like, and living out of suitcase and caring for too many people. But I kept that grounding, kept that, carrying over, and I was determined to get back in the group. So when I did, you guys, even though didn't, we didn't really get to know each other at the start, really, really welcomed me in, and you're just a beautiful community. So thank you.
Thank
And
you. And Sandra's going to sing a song for us soon.
yeah, get ready for your
I know,
spill,
I'm trying
Sam.
not to choke up so I can sing it clearly.
Wayne?
Wayne.
Hi everyone, I'm Wayne from Brisbane, Queensland. I'm probably one of the newest members of the group. I've been doing it for about 2 months, 9, 10 weeks, I suppose. I had even though I've been following Campbell and Kelly on YouTube for about 5 years, I was a bit nervous to join. So this is a shout out to people sitting on the fence that it is a really welcoming group and it's different every day. It's not the same thing. But I went through a 20-year marriage breakdown and I was sort of in trauma and whatever and going through all the stages of grief and turning up each morning gives me something to look forward to the next morning. So I get up, go to the group and we're all laugh and joke about and but we do things that I normally wouldn't do. You sort of put yourself last. So we do breathing exercises, meditation, tapping for our lymph, all sorts of interesting things. I also got paired up with John, the wizard, for Secret Santa. So really made me feel welcome to the group. But anyone who's not sure, just come along and join and give it a go and come along and you may enjoy it or you may not, but each day is different. So yeah, really highly recommend that you come along. But for me personally, I play a lot of cricket and I'm athletic and I play a lot of sport. I was just sick of the 3D mundane conversations of the price of beer, politics, what are you doing on the weekend? This is your soul tribe. You can actually talk freely. So you don't have to hold back and go, oh, I can't talk about the shape of the earth or I can't talk about needles. Like we don't get into all the conspiracy stuff. It's more about spiritual and personal growth. And we're all on the hero journey. So it's all an individual journey, but we're all, this is doing the work. So you can sit and watch as many videos as you want, read as many books as you want. But as we talked about all day, if you eat McDonald's, you're not helping yourself. So for me, I'm really into exercise now. I'm really into diet now. I'm fasting. I'm doing all these things, but this is part of the work as well. Being around like-minded people and the energy that comes off of that. Some of the mornings goes for half an hour. Some go for 2.5 hours. Like I've been there going, geez, I've really got to go to work. Sorry, guys, got to go. But the conversations just go off on tangents. And just like today, like I was thinking, how are they going to pull off 12 hours? There's going to be some quiet time there, but it has just gone, it's just flown by. Like it's just been fantastic. Like, and that's what the morning's like sometimes. We're just chatting away. A lot of the times I can't get a word in because the ladies are just going, oh, well, they're just in their element, loving life, and it's so good to be around. And John and I are there, and Trent's there that played the didgeridoo at the start as well. So there's a few males in the house. But I just want to say thank you very much for creating that space. And each day we say, oh, there's 10 of us here. It should be 100. Like realistically, it should be 1,000. So I encourage anyone to join. It's a really safe place and no one's judging anyone. And we're all at different levels on our journey and no one's going to have a go at you for eating whatever you eat. So jump in and join in. Thank you.
Thank you, my
Well said,
friend.
mate. But I'm there sometimes. I'm a man. But well said, mate. Well said.
Yeah. Thank you, Wayne. Yep, I totally concur. This is the most welcoming, loving community on the planet. I swear, man. And it's got that, that real comfortable Aussie twang to it. I watched a clip the other day and it was just an American talking about, my favorite word and how the Australians just say it the best.
What is your favorite word? Is it love?
Well, when you look at someone, you say like, get fucked. Like it's the fuck. We've got the Aussie way of saying it is just like the most comforting and safe and entertaining. And it's just got a feel to it, a vibe that just
Fuck yeah,
translate
man.
connected to it's just got a connectivity to it when we say it. Okay, anyway. Oh, Edwina.
Eddie, our
We
right.
love Edwina.
Oh,
Again, I'd just like to say, Edwina, thank you so much for all your support and help this year, not just across the Get Your Shit Together hour, but other, all of our live events and all the random odd things that we've done. And you've always been there to help and, like do what you can. And we really appreciate you and thank you for being part of Tartaria Australia.
my
Yes.
pleasure. And
And all your work
I
for
do it
that.
with love. I really do. You are my tribe.
Oh, well, we love you too.
100%.
So I'm just going to ditto everything that the others have mentioned about their Get Your Shit Together. It's a beautiful space. It really is. You can manifest, you can laugh, you can cry, you can eat anything. And it's just a beautiful way to start the day and choking up. So love you.
Oh, thank you.
And everyone, just look at the way that the group are looking at each other. Like, look at their faces. They're all just, they love each other. You can see it.
and you can tell the heart space has been active, can't you?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's choking up and teary-eyed, like it's connected. That's heart connection. I was always taught that, you're not in your heart unless you cry. Because, when you're in a true state of compassion for something, you'll cry. You'll cry. Tears represent where you are. And yeah, you guys are crying like babies.
There's cricket. There's cricket in America.
Oh,
Oh, is
Cricket, get
cricket
on up
here?
here. While
Cricket,
she's moving
cricket,
up here,
come on.
Akasha, tell us your experience. I don't care how long this goes on for, by the way. This is
And
the tonality that I want to
yes,
linger on. This
I'd
is
sit.
the energy I want to spend time on. All the bullshit conspiracies aside, man. This is the vibe. This is it. This is what we want to live in. This is what we want to build in the campground. This is the vibe, that heart space where you can't fall anymore because there's literally thousands there to catch you. That's the vibe.
When you do the work and you walk the walk, you get results. But when you do that with your soul tribe, you get resonance, and that creates magic. And that's what makes it, the Get Your Shit Together hour, an absolute game changer. Fucking love you guys.
Love you too, Acacia.
Oh. Well, you can feel it, can't you guys? I mean, you can feel the energy. You can feel the energy flowing through. So this is an open invitation to anyone in the Tartaria Australian space who feels that connecting and prioritizing connectivity this year will be of service to them, and fill their cup and fill their life and support them and connect in a heart space that maybe has been absent. Then you are absolutely welcome to join the group at any time. They go
Yeah.
every single morning, and we hang out on Friday nights.
But you don't have to be there every single morning. If you can only get there once a week, it's fine.
I've only been doing it a couple of days a week lately. I was doing it every day for a while there, but lately I've just been so busy with my life and that, so I've only been doing it a couple of days a week. But I've got the most beautiful friendships with the people there. Acacia over at my place the other week when she was passing through Sydney, it was great to make contact with her. And it was great to make contact with all my tribe members up at the camp, and I had the best time. And it was also a good connection to make connections when we done our fast. It was about 18 months ago we done the 8-day fast. We also connected with a lot of people from that too. So it's been a beautiful experience, and I'm just so grateful for it. And I really recommend it. It's just a great way for we can bind together and build our community. And what we're talking about, getting organised for our future, preparing.
Cheers, mate. And I do see cricket. I see you.
Hey there.
Hey, hey.
Hey, mate.
It's dark here because it's like 2 in the morning. 2 in the
Oh, wow. What an effort.
Yeah, and I've been here pretty much the whole time. So
Amazing.
if that tells you a little bit how much motivating the Get Your Shit Together hour is to make the connection with each of us all. So yes, it's definitely a place where you get lots of love, and right when you think you're all alone, you get proven wrong when you tap in and get connected with the group. So lots and lots of love is definitely felt. So I suggest to come join.
And you do an amazing job, Cricket, because you are in America, obviously, and the times are completely upside down for you.
Yes. Yeah, I have to, on the Friday ones, I have to set my alarm at Thursday midnight to catch it.
Yeah.
And then the morning and the rising, it's usually like at right in the afternoon when I'm real, busy and doing stuff, and everybody else is yawning and waking up and rising. They're like, let's get this day started. And I'm like, already 3/4 of the way through it. So it's interesting, but I love it. I love it. Thank you all for everything. And
Well,
just
thank
make
you
it
for
happen.
connecting the world, mate. Thank you for being the American. Thank you for making such an effort and weaving our futures together. I love that.
Yes, we're gonna have a TA campground here, so I'll be the support in the States. Let's do
Yeah,
it. Let's do it.
the
Wonderful.
campground network is coming together. All right.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you guys.
Thank you,
Thank
Cricket.
you,
Thank you,
Cricket.
thank you.
Okay.
And we've got Kent. Lastly, Kent.
Sun Bear.
Hey guys, this has been amazing, uh, as per usual. Yeah, I've been a bit absent from the get your shit together mornings because I've been having too much cacao and not sleeping well, and so getting my shit together has involved kind of sleeping in for the moment. But the only reason I raised my hand is because occasionally we have, like, it's just so beautiful to. I don't know if anyone has ever seen that video that was interesting of the spaceships tethering to the, like, the cord in space, but it kind of feels like that we're all kind of gathering around this energy and just kind of fueling ourselves up, with this beautiful energy. And sometimes we do affirmations, sometimes we do Abraham rampages, sometimes, we do Qigong or Falun Gong, um, or yoga breathing, or drawing, or automatic writing, or goal setting, or just kind of like co-counseling. And yeah, it's just such a beautiful, empowering start to the day, knowing that, that you're tethered, to your Tartarian tribe. Um, yeah. Oh, and the other thing, yeah. So the reason why I put my hand up is because Freddie, said something the other day that blew my mind, and that was, because she works with adorning and honoring cathedrals. She said that most professionals in that space who she talks to, and Freddie, you can correct me if I'm wrong about this, but they say that the organs came first, that the sound, that the resonance came first, and then the building was designed to honor the sound. And
The speaker box. The building is the speaker box.
Thanks, Freddie. And and then, like, I just got stars in my eyes, and I thought the organ to the cathedral is the soul to the body. The and this idea that, that our physical being is perfectly molded, perfectly co-designed, with our soul essence to perform our divine function. And that's been an absolute game changer. Just one morning among many, many, many mornings. So these are the kind of incredible delights and surprises, that you're likely to stumble upon. Beautiful organic exploration of what it's like to be a high vibe and Tartarian.
I love that.
And the last thing I almost forgot, Kelly was going to, or she did one. I don't know if she's done more, but of these wishcraft inspired, um, get your shit together mornings, where we talk about, like, an obstacle that we're facing, and we can't necessarily solve it on on our own. It's like that, Einstein quote, that you can't solve a problem at the level, you can't find a solution at the level of the problem. But other people can very readily have that solution in their being, in their awareness, in the way that they navigate life. It's just like the most natural thing in the world to them. And that's been another really beautiful experience. Yeah, I hope and pray and intend, that with more people, then there's just so much more opportunity, synchronicity, and synergy. Yeah. So thank you, Kelly and Campbell, and everyone. It's changed my life, no doubt.
Thanks, Kent.
Thanks,
I mean,
Kent.
it's really true, isn't it? Like this idea that we are naturally problem-solving machines. Like the first thing you want to do when someone tells you they've got a problem is to try to solve it. We just instinctively have it to do that. So when you put a group around solving your problem for you, my gosh, does it get solved quickly? It's quite amazing about that. Yeah, that's a body of work we're looking at called Wishcraft.
Mm.
So
Well, we know everyone's a piece of the puzzle, right? We say it all the time, right? So it's time to find your puzzle box.